Hi there, folks. This is Sam Price, and I have another episode of Probate Notes. And I have with me a guest speaker who's going to tell us a lot more about the interesting topic of inherited IRAs and how we can be able to help someone with special needs who is inheriting from such an asset. I have with me here Darryl J. Lynch. He's with the Lynch Group of Oppenheimer and Company, Inc. Hi there, Darryl. How are you today?
Good afternoon. Nice to be with you.
Thank you for coming on the show. Can you please start off by just kind of giving us an idea of your background and how you got to where you're at now?
Well, I have been in the business over 35 years. In fact, when I got out of college, I started working on a cable logging crew in the Pacific Northwest for about 5 years. Decided, well, got hurt, so I better do something else.
You were a lumberjack. Are you telling me you were a lumberjack?
Yeah, I worked on the
That's
cable
incredible.
logging crew and was following old growth for about 5 years after I got out of grad school. And I worked my way through college, kind of doing that. And after a while, I said, well, I might as well use this master's degree I have. And I got into the securities business. Worked for IDS Financial for a while and Smith Barney. And now I've been at Oppenheimer and Company for over 35 years.
Well, let's say that we have someone who's passed away. Mom has passed away.
Mhm.
She had a 401k retirement plan.
Mhm.
And now that she's passed away, she is leaving it to a child, and that
Yep.
child has special needs. What are some of the issues that come into play in that situation?
That's a really good question, Sam. And I get this all the time. If you're working with an estate attorney and they've done their job and you're setting up special needs trusts, and these are third party trusts because you want to make sure when people give money to a child with special needs, you want to make sure they're third party trusts because the third party trusts are not set up subject to the state clawback for Medicaid. So you want to make sure money goes into the third party. And when you gift, you name the trust, not the child, as a beneficiary. Because if you name the child as first party money, and then that will be subject to the state clawback. So what happens and why is this inherited IRA special needs trust a big deal? Well, you've done all your planning and you've named the trust, the third party trust, but Uncle Jed over here loves your child and he names the kid as the beneficiary
Individually.
individually. So now it's first party money. Boom. This is a deemed asset. You can disqualify the child from state benefits and have all kinds of problems. So traditionally, what has happened over the years, people, when the child inherits this $1 million IRA, they're named as it. They take a distribution from the IRA, pay the $350,000 in taxes, and then move what's left into the first party trust. Most institutions that we think run into will not allow you to put that inherited IRA intact without taking a distribution first and then move it into the first party trust. Okay. We set up a system to make sure we can get that all done for you, not be a taxable event, and make sure the timing's done right so it doesn't risk the benefits of the special needs child.
Now, can you get into a little bit about why we have to go through this three-part process?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, First of all, when the money comes out of the decedent's account, it has to come out of the decedent's name because you don't have authority. Okay, that's the first step. That's step number one. And the step number two is the firm where she's at or where they're at will not do this.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
They will not. You can try, they will delay, and say they don't want to lose the money, but they will not do this. And most importantly, do you really want to be their guinea pig with your child's benefits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
If they haven't done it, aren't familiar, all you need is one person to go, oh, IRA distribution coded as a taxable event, and then you're screwed to the wall. Okay.
Mhm.
So the reason we have the steps is, first of all, first step comes out of the decedent into the inherited IRA, step number one. And for us to work with you, step number two, you have to transfer it to Oppenheimer, the Lynch Group. Okay.
Okay.
Now it's here. We have you sign, the client signs, and we sign a letter of authorization saying we know what we're doing. You review this, and then we journal it. Step number 3 to an inherited IRA special needs trust that you've already established, and we have the paperwork and everything's done and everything's out before the end of the month. And it all has to be done in a calendar month.
Why is that, Darryl? Why does it have to all be done in one calendar month?
Because it's not 30 days. It's a calendar month, because once it comes out of the decedent's account and into the inherited IRA for your client, it's a deemed asset. All right. And now it's in an account that if it prints a statement with that $1 million in it, that could be considered a deemed asset and could put the client at risk for losing their benefits. So what we want to do is, after the first of the month, we transfer out of the decedent's account. Okay, so calendar day 2, now it's in there. Transfer it to Oppenheimer. Then before the end of the month, transfer it into the special needs trust, so it never prints a statement with that $1 million in those 2 accounts, so they're not considered a deemed asset. So at the beginning of the month, in those 2 accounts, it's 0 at the beginning of the month, because we transferred it in on the 2nd, and we get it out by the 31st. So all those accounts never print that statement with $1 million deemed assets, risk of benefits, and it has to be calendar month. So in February, we usually don't do very many of these transactions.
So it would be the same 3-step process, but it would have to be within a pooled trust.
Joinder agreement.
What's it called?
They would have a joinder agreement with us. The pool trust, everybody is under their joinder agreement. So we would work with the pool trust, their document. And that would be the E4C joinder agreement.
Which would have a segregated account for that individual.
Particular person. Exactly.
Wonderful. Okay. So really, this is available to anyone with special needs, regardless of age, regardless of capacity.
Yes. Hopefully they've done everything right. I tell people, you don't need us.
Sure.
Because you've named the third party trust. All right. And so that alleviates that, because it's easier. Most firms, not all, will allow you to do that. If the trust is named as a beneficiary, they go, okay, great, we'll do this inherited IRA third party trust. They should do that. Some of them will give you flack, but they won't. Okay. We don't charge for this transaction, even though for every $1 million, we're going to save you $650,000. We're a money management firm. We charge to manage the money, and we charge 0.85% or less to manage the money for folks. So we have that's our business, and how we get paid is professionally managing money for trustees, conservators, and guardians. This is just an ancillary service that just came to us, and we said, hey, we can help.